Okay, what do we have over here? Ramped flatbed and two semi-trailers. So, do I have any roads I didn't go down? Just that crossing right there. Okay. Well, let's head to Mountain River. And I'm gonna take... There we go. We're gonna deploy that. And deploy that. And deploy that. And deploy that. Okay. So, to Mountain River. We're gonna go over here. Okay. At least by the time I get to Pedro Bay, it should be daytime. That'll be nice. Hey Shady, what's up, man? Trying to code? Ugh. What are you coding in? Java. Gotcha. One of these days I'm gonna come around that corner and pop the heck out of my tire, man. Yeah, I learned some coding in college. But that was C++, and that was 10, 12 years ago. Wait. 20 years ago? 10 years. Psh. I can't math, dude. I thought I was significantly younger than I actually am. Okay, Pedro Bay. Make sure I don't go off-road there. Look, why is there a trailer right there? Huh, I didn't put that there. That must have been back from when, like, Lucid was helping me with something. He probably drug a trailer over there and left it. Which I guess is a good way to give me money. My trailer now. You trying to write anything specific or just kind of messing around to learn, etc.? Okay, there's the trailer store. There's trailer. I think I'm gonna try to come down here and get the one at the service hub first, because I have nearly a full tank of gas, so let's go for the hard one. Homework, gotcha. Alright, where's the trailer store? Oh, it is over near the front. Okay. Well, that solves that problem, I guess. There we go. We'll do that. Go code chess. Yeah. That'll be easy. Do you have to code a version of chess? Here's the operative question. Do you have to code an AI that can play chess? Or do you just have to code a game where two humans can play chess against each other? Because those are drastically two different things. And one is significantly more difficult. Because if it's just two humans, you can just, like, program in the chessboard, program in the pieces, teach the game the limit of each piece. Teach how it can kill each other. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, for a beginner course, if she's like, make sure the computer can play, I'd have been all like, how about no? Trying to teach the moves now. Good luck with the knight. That's exactly, you're at the knight. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's something I was thinking about, is you're going to have to... That's one thing you have to teach the game, is to look at the board and the piece and then determine what the valid moves are and then allow the valid moves. Because you can't just say... You can't just say the... Like, with a rook, let's take a rook. You can't just say that the rook can move as far up, down, left, or right as it wants and leave it at that, because then the game will just be like, shoot, move 10,000 spaces that way, shoot, and it's gone. You know, I guess if you're just teaching it so that you can play human versus human, it wouldn't be a problem, because the humans would self-impose those rules 99 times out of 100. But... Okay. Unless your teacher specifically looks for how you coded that part of it. If your teacher just sits down and plays chess, it would be like... Yeah, you have to validate every move, exactly. That's the one point where AI comes a little in handy, is you can just tell the AI you can't go beyond these bounds, and then you apply the rules, and then the AI fills in that part. It's like, oh, I can't go beyond these bounds? Okay, well, that's not a valid move then. The hard part is, you gotta write all the AI before that. Oh, am I here already? Jeez, that didn't take nearly as long as I thought. Alright. You know what, this is a bad idea. Here we go. I like how my truck hit half a gallon and it highlighted the gas trailer I'm hauling. Half a gallon, half a tank. Sorry. See, there is a catch with what you said there, Shady. You don't actually have to validate every move. Because... At least, you gotta take this in literal terms, because we're talking about computer programming here. If you tried to validate every move, that would take forever and have a lot of like CPU computations, a lot of clock cycles to compute that for every single move. Every single move would have to be calculated every single time to validate which moves were valid and which weren't. And if the computer doesn't know the outside limits of the board, it's technically infinite. I'm trying to think. For something like a knight, that would be easy because a knight only has 8 moves it can ever make. And that's easy. It becomes more difficult with things like rooks, queens, bishops. I guess the easiest way to limit that is to tell the game, or to tell the piece that it can't move farther than the maximum number it could ever physically move anywhere on the board. So if it was a queen or a bishop, right, and it was in the top right-hand corner, the horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lengths, whatever the maximum lengths of those are, you would say, you know, piece can never move farther than, I don't know, 8 squares, right? So that puts an upper bound immediately on it. And then you can kind of program each move and limit it to the border of the table from there. Oh, by every move you mean possible moves within the specific piece, the board size and layout, other units, etc. Okay. So you are calculating that every time. Okay. That's why really old chess games, the AI was really slow. Because there wasn't really an AI per se, it was just a... it was just the computer calculating every possible move and then trying to determine whether the move was good or bad based off of some algorithm that got created. I remember playing really old school. I played a game in DOS called Battle Chess. That was, like, as a little kid, it was really exciting. Because there were, like, little animations every time the pieces were, like, actual knights and bishops and stuff like that. And when a piece captured another piece, the pieces would come alive and they'd actually, like, fight each other. So as a kid, I was all like, yeah! That was probably written in BASIC as well, if I had to guess. That game was probably made in the late 80s, early 90s. Alright. Next. There's a trailer there. Ramped flatbed. Ramped? Oh. Wait. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So we're going to come down here and then go this way. And then we're going to grab that trailer. And we're going to come back. Whoops. Whoops. We're going to go this way. Hello? Ugh. I hate that sometimes it does that. I can't quite figure out what the trigger is for it not working properly. Alright, cool, let's do that. Yeah, then you got to program in castling, which has very specific setups. You've got to program in when the pieces are allowed to attack, in which case the pawn is actually the most complicated. You didn't think about castling, did you? Oh, castling is a bitch. You could always just leave it out and hope your instructor doesn't notice. Although if it's a good instructor, that's going to be one of the first things they look for is castling. Did he teach you how to castle? Yeah. Just hope the instructor doesn't notice, yeah. You also have to well, another thing you might have forgotten about is pawn leveling. Where the pawns reach, if a pawn reaches the far side of the board, it can change out to a piece that had previously been killed. So you have to keep track of what pieces have been killed. So that if a pawn reaches over there, it can choose to change into any of those. That's relatively simple. Yeah, that shouldn't be that hard. It's like every time piece kill, make list, you know, append to list this. And then you just say that if pawn reaches other side of board, change pawn to random piece from list. Or selectable piece from list. And then when pawn changes to that piece, remove that piece from the dead piece list. That one doesn't actually seem too difficult. There's a lot of steps, but none of them are actually that hard. It's just a bunch of call commands, essentially. It's like append and call commands. Alright. So now let's get rid of this one. And then you just like copy and paste all those commands and append them with like red versus black, or I guess it's not checkers, white versus black. And duplicate them. That way both sides have the ability, and then you're done. You have to admit the texturing of the tires is really well done, because it'll change between brown mud, white snow, and clean depending on what it drives over. But it also increases that texture quality based on how long it was in that product, how much the tire was touching the ground, and how deep the item was. So like deeper mud and snow covers the tire faster. And then each tire does that independently of the others, because you'll run through a certain area with 1 or 2 tires and only they will get colored. It's a nice touch. It's a nice quality of life improvement. Really leads to the immersion. Wait, I'm sorry. Where's that going? A random point there. Okay, I was all like, there's no way that's right. See if we can Austin Powers this here. Nah, there's plenty of space. Alright, so the last one we're doing is over here. This isn't so bad. And then we're going to bring it right back out again. Okay, cool. And that should be the last trailer here, I think. Which is great. Pedro Bay's done. Always good because that's the furthest away from a garage. So if my truck flips, it's the more difficult place to get back to. Or not most difficult, just most time consuming. Trying to think if there's anything else complicated from chess that you may have overlooked. I think the most complicated programming wise, besides like movement and capturing, are gonna be um, the pawn upgrading and castling. I think everything else is easy comparatively. And with killing opponent pieces, I think the hardest one is going to be the pawn. All the other pieces are really straightforward. The knight is probably the second most difficult. And I think the knight is the only piece that can jump over pieces to attack. I'm not 100% sure on that rule. I'd need to double check it. But I think on the L-shaped movement, I think the only point where you have to attack a piece is at the end. Otherwise, you can go over a piece. I think you can go over a piece. Once again, I could be completely wrong. Okay. Pick up this trailer. Oh, excuse me, goodness. I always found the concept of programming based off of logic really interesting, really entertaining, and it's like a nice brain teaser. I didn't like the act of actually programming. That's the catch. I'm about to run out of fuel here. Not that it really matters, I've got the fuel trailer, but... If I were you, I would, I would leave a section in the code that's like commented out, obviously, and put it like castling, and then just put in there, I'm gonna leave this part out. Just so that if the instructor is reading through your code, it gets to that part, it's like, oh, they did do castling. Nope. At least it'll make them laugh. Castling. Nope, too hard. Give me a B. Done, yeah. I know about castling. I left it out on purpose. It looked hard. Looked too hard, didn't do. From my experience, most programming teachers have a pretty good sense of humor for stuff like that. They'll read that and just be like, yeah, you're right. You're right, this shit is hard. Alright, so let's come this way. Where do I need to go for that? I'm gonna come over here. Actually, let's do that to there. And then we're gonna drive through this section. And then I'll come back through here. I may just abandon and, like, reclaim at a garage after that, but we'll see. Castling. Castling available in the upcoming DLC for $2.99. I'll program this for a DLC upgrade. We have a customer at our IT company whose son wrote a program that would do a bunch of calls between their accounting software and their billing software, since they were two different programs. Note to self: never suggest a customer can do that. Hey, my son knows programming from college. Can I pay him to do this? I would highly recommend you not do that. Not that I don't trust your son's programming skills, but, I mean, first, I don't trust your son's programming skills. And secondly, when your software updates, and then this tool that transfers data between the two stops working because of a software update, then you got to get your son to fix it. What if he's not available? Can't tell you how many times they've called us and been like, my program's not working. I'm like, I didn't make it. Your son did. Call him. Sorry, sir, you're going to have to contact the software vendor. There is no software vendor. My son wrote it. So what does that tell you? A vendor is just someone who gives you something. It doesn't have to be a company. It can be an individual. Vehicles over 40 prohibited. I've got some old trucks that probably shouldn't come down here then. It makes you wonder what that sign is actually trying to indicate. Because your first assumption is that that's telling you that the truck should not go 40 miles an hour. And if that's the case, why use a really strange sign like that? Why not use a speed limit sign? Speed limit 40. So if you think about that, you're like, well, yeah, that would make sense. They should have used a speed limit sign. Alright, well, it probably means weight. Okay, 40 what? 40 tons? Doesn't say. Alright, so Pedro Bay should be done. I don't see anything else. The map doesn't show any of the any additional trailers. There's supposedly a couple of upgrades still left in here somewhere, but I don't know if they're in Pedro Bay per se. So I think as far as the upgrades in Alaska, I'm gonna wait until I pick up all the trailers, and then I'm just gonna look them up. Go get them with the F-750, essentially. I like how that sign immediately became like an indestructible object for some reason. Okay, so fuel carrier trailer. There's the trailer store. There's a couple of small... These are scouts, right? Yeah. Alright, were there any roads here I haven't driven down? I don't think so. I think this was pretty well covered. Yeah, this one seems complete. There's something there. Service convoy and a truck. Huh. Interesting. I don't remember that. There's also a service trailer there. So, fuel carrier, service trailer, scout and scout and scout. There's another scout here. Ew. And a service trailer all the way out there. That one will be easy. Okay, so first things first, I need fuel. Really? Fuel. And we're gonna come back. Trailer store, okay. Then I'll probably come over here. Get that thing and then bring it back. Then we'll probably need fuel by that point. Then we'll come back up here and get fuel again. Okay. Yeah, alright. Trying to figure out how best to pick this thing up. I probably ought to just come through here and start going out through the snow and then back up to it. Yeah, like that. Okay. Oh. Okay. Didn't realize there was ice on that part of the road there. I am going to have to bring the Hummer out here to pick up those scout trailers. That shouldn't be that big of a deal, though.